Karate Kid Legends and Lilo and Stitch movie review, live movie review for Karate Kid Legends and Lilo and Stitch. Welcome to Mirror Domains, and this is indeed a live stream where we will be talking about the movies Karate Kid Legends and Lilo and Stitch that I have seen over the last couple of days, and these will be cut out and put up on the movie review channels proper, but I figure just let's fire them out because hey, I want this content to also be available here on the main Mirror Domains channel as well. So that being said, guys, we'll start off with Lilo and Stitch that I took in this afternoon, and hopefully everything is working properly. So this is live. So if people come into the live stream, I know this is going to be very quick too, because there's another live stream that I want to participate in at 6 p.m., at least in the chat comments, for Harry Nemiroff's Bring Her Back live stream review. So it's all movie reviews here. Yes. Okay. Let's get underway, because Lilo and Stitch. Lilo and Stitch movie review. Lilo and Stitch 2025. Live action. A lonely Hawaiian girl befriends a runaway alien helping her to mastermind. Oh my God. I completely screwed that up. I did. Hey, it happens when you're doing this live. Let me try to redo that over again. Take two. Lilo and Stitch 2025 movie review. Lilo and Stitch. A lonely Hawaiian girl befriends a runaway alien helping to mend her fragmented family. So, know this about this movie review for Lilo and Stitch. I have never seen the original because that's a cartoon. I am an adult, so I'm sorry. I typically don't sit down and watch these movies, but I took my niece to see this one. So let's talk about Lilo and Stitch, the live action, and what my initial impressions of what this movie was. Well, I gotta say that the animation for Stitch was pretty good. The animation for everything else, though, like this, looked actually kind of bad. Like, I've been working with some 3D modeling, AI modeling software, and it feels like that would have been better than whatever they used for this. But that's just a minor thing. You're not there to watch it because of that. You're watching it because you want to see how Stitch interacts with the live action cast, right? And the young girl in this does a fantastic job. The older sister plays a really good role in this as well. And I felt like when Stitch is actually working with them, for the most part, all of that stuff marries in well. So I never knew the story about how he comes to Earth and stuff like that and what really happens. But I gotta say, it's very campy to start off, which is fine because you're watching a kid's movie, right? You're not in the mindset of watching something of a more serious subject matter. But as I got towards the end of this, it is dealing with more adult themes, which I found to be a welcomed addition, because we're dealing with loss, we're dealing with grief a little bit, with like their parents being gone. Why is the sister taking care of the younger sister there? And, how are they going to deal with this alien creature? And there is some emotional payoffs with Stitch that actually works, because when he comes down, he's just like a rambunctious, manic 5-year-old running around the house, bonking his head on everything, screaming around, and it captured that kind of feeling very well. But it does run a touch long, I felt. There was a couple of times while I was watching it in the theater that I was looking at my watch, 1 hour and 48 minutes. I think it could have been served better if it was 1 hour and a half. Let's see what else I really enjoyed about it. The extended cast. So Maya Kealoha as Lilo did a good job. Sydney Agudong, Nani, the older sister, did a great job. Zach Galifianakis shows up in this. Chris Sanders is the voice of Stitch. Billy Magnuson plays Pleakley. Now, Billy Magnuson, I think, was he not in Fubar? Was that the guy that was in Fubar? Because if it is, then no, it's not. What am I thinking of? He was in Roadhouse, Black Mirror. Okay. Something about him looks familiar, though. Game Night. Uh, you'll understand what I mean when you see him here. No, that's not the guy from Fubar. But anyway, I found that those storylines worked a lot better. Like they were the two alien people that come down to Earth to try to capture him again and bring him back to what their plans were. And I thought that they did a good job. Courtney B. Vance is the Cobra Bubbles. Tia Carrera, she was in the original or something, right? That was Hannah Waddingham as the Grand Councilwoman. See, all of that alien stuff didn't work for me. It was just too CG. It was too cartoony CG. Like if it's going to be live action, and I thought it would be a little bit more of a realistic take on CG work. Like, oh, that really looks like real skin. But no, it doesn't. It looks, as I said, cartoony to the point where it starts off like feeling in tone like a totally different type of movie. Like, oh, this is just a CG movie. Okay, that's fine. But then when it gets to Earth, it ramps up. And it takes too long for them to befriend Stitch. It does. Like, it's a good 35 minutes before Stitch even meets the girl. And even then, it's kind of like a little forced. But guys, these are just my criticisms as a hardcore movie fan. I know that a lot of people out there that have been going to this, I saw this in a packed theater. People were laughing. People were enjoying this movie. 70% by critics, 93% by the audience. So it's a crowd pleaser. Right? It's a crowd-pleasing movie. And as I said, I never saw the original, so I'm hoping that some of the snapshot reviews will reveal a little bit more of how this deviated from the animated one. But let's go over to my score sheet, fill this out, and then we'll take a look at some of the snapshot reviews to see what other people have said about this. So, if you don't know how this works, guys, my score sheet, acting, directing, and story are out of a possible 2 points. Cinematography and score are 1 point each. Acting, it's good. It's there's nothing in here that I would say is Oscar worthy. It's fine. The directing, the execution of it was handled fairly well because of what they were working with. Like working with child actors is difficult, and I think they got the most they could have out of that young girl. For sure, acting wise, right? Now, I am going to knock back the directing because of the technical aspects here. As I said, the beginning was a little too cartoony, and that's probably what they were shooting for. No doubt about that. Because it is a kids' movie, they don't want it to have it maybe too realistic, which is kind of, sending me mixed messages. But overall, the story. As I said, it's got some issues in there. I do like the ending, and I do like the way that they were trying to put some emotional backbeats in there of you don't leave family behind and stuff like that, and having that kind of connection. Cinematography, it's got a lot of jump edits in the beginning. Like I was at the 10-minute mark, and I'm like, how many cuts have we gone through already? There's not a lot of static shots, and I'm guessing it's like that because it's intended for a younger audience, and they want to keep people's attention spans locked in, and you do that by having quick cuts. People don't like to sit down and watch you sit and talk for 10 minutes, James. Sorry, but it is what it is. Cinematography and score. It was an okay score. They use a lot of needle drops in here. The King, Elvis. that kind of stuff. If you like that kind of thing, it's okay. And maybe for that I'll bump that up to the full point there. I think I will reserve the right to come back to the acting, though. I will. So let's go over to the tomato meter here and see what people are saying, because I'm sitting at a 4.5, and I want to see where the consensus is. Empire Magazine. Fleischer Camp brings a light touch and a good human cast to this reverently faithful effort, but it's never as clear and as bright as its source material. The director Dean Fleischer Camp isn't trying to recapture the art house audience who went for the sophisticated faux naivety of his 2021 Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, but he does ground the whimsy in a baseline of realism. I don't know about that, guys. There is a critic here who didn't like it. The simplistic script by Chris Kekenio-Kalak. No, I'm sorry, I butchered that last name. Bright and Mike Van Ways finds the quickest way to get sympathy for its characters is by consistently putting them in peril. After a while, the trick feels manipulative. It does a little bit, but as I said, it's a kids movie, so I overlooked some of that kind of stuff. Let's go down to the audience here, because as the audience score is higher, so these will probably weigh a little bit more on people, right? Really good, little slow in the middle. I would say a little slow to get going. Like, it establishes who Stitch is on the alien planet, so we don't need to reestablish Stitch again when he comes down on Earth. And that's sort of what they do. So that adds to the length, right? Trim 10 minutes and probably 5 stars. Peggy, goddaughter, loved everything about it. Get movie with Het. What? What's Het? With her? Is that what they meant to say? Very cute show. I've always been a Stitch fan. This is Caroline Brown. It stayed to the original show. Was funny, kept me awake. Well, as I said, I was looking at my watch throughout. The consensus reviews say an old and new fans beware. Cuteness and mischief team up in Lilo and Stitch to make sure nobody gets left behind. Recapturing the adorable charm of the original is, if not quite matchmaking, is rambunctious sense of imagination. So, where do I land? I don't think I'm as high as the critics, and I'm definitely not as high as the audience, and I think that's what the audience would prefer me to say here in this review. Let's pull up the live chat here, because I want to see what people are saying. And don't worry, I'll cut this out and put this up later. Our Viking says, valid criticism, James. I thought the chaos was overcompensating in the script and acting in some part. Young girl was good for a 6-year-old. Yeah, she was. And that's why I think I might bump acting up a point. It was my first time watching the Stitch character. It was intelligent and made him entertaining to watch. I just felt like maybe perhaps they could have established his weakness a little bit more. They just kind of gave that in exposition. Oh, if you get him wet, then he becomes really heavy, kind of thing. Because see, that is the big payoff in Act 3, right? That he'll sacrifice himself to save Lilo. And if they had built that up a little bit more, maybe it would have had a bit more of impact on me. But as I said, it's meant for kids and not to actually make you start bawling in the middle of the theater, right? Anyway, let's wrap up my score sheet here and see where we land for Lilo and Stitch. Watchability factor. So, if you liked the original and you're curious to see where this goes, it's definitely worth seeing in the theater then, right? 5.5. And I am going to bump up the acting. So we will bump up the acting to 1.5, even though, it's not Galifianakis. Maybe as an ensemble, it moves it up to a 6 out of 10. Directing. I do want to give this a 7 out of 10. But I don't know. For me, I am being harsh on it because I am a movie fan. I watch movies, hundreds of movies, guys. So it's kind of like, is this something that I want to sit down and watch again? No. Do I fault people who like it? No. I'm not gonna say terrible bad things about it. What's the best part about it is the acting and the soundtrack. But the directing and story, there are problems here. And I think even the best people who did like it acknowledge it. So 6 out of 10 is, I feel like if I give you no, that's where I land. 6 out of 10 for Lilo and Stitch. I'm sorry. I can't in good conscience give another point. Artglass Viking says his mass increases the water, but wasn't the indestructible? His mass increases with water, but wasn't he indestructible? That's what I thought. So he wouldn't have drowned or anything. I don't know. And that, as I said, if they made it that more clear, if they had maybe foreshadowed that a little bit more, better. Like there is that scene in here where she is on the surfboard and he pulls her down. But there should have been, that should have been put better into the arc of it, composed properly. And that goes into the directing, that goes into the story execution, right? For me, at least. And that's where I've docked the points. Anyway, that's all I got, guys, for Lilo and Stitch. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, and we will talk about it. Let me know what you thought about this, and next we will be reviewing Karate Kid Legends up on the channel. And as well, hey, if you like this kind of stuff, come join us for trailer reactions for Jurassic World Rebirth and It, Welcome to Derry, Fubar Season 2, Superman trailer, full movie reviews for Final Destination Bloodlines, Fight or Flight, Clown in a Cornfield, Bring Her Back, Tenants, In Flight, series reactions for Andor Season 2. It's all good stuff here on Mirror Domains. All right, I kind of went long for that one. I'm going to chop that one down a little bit when I pull it up and put it up on the reviews channel. I was a little long-winded there. Could be a little bit tighter. All right, let me reset this for Karate Kid Legends. Or do I? Do I need to reset the numbers, James? Is it going to be any better for Karate Kid Legends? I do not know. Okay, turn off that. And Karate Kid Legends movie review. Karate Kid Legends stars Jackie Chan, Ralph Macchio, and Ben Wang. And it tells the tale of after Kung Fu prodigy Li Feng relocates to New York City, he attracts unwanted attention from a local karate champion and embarks on a journey to enter the ultimate karate competition with the help of Mr. Han and Danielle LaRusso. Now, if you saw the trailers for this, it pitched this team-up, sort of, between Jackie Chan and Danny, right? Ralph Macchio. And that's what people were buying, right, when they got this. Now, as you watch the following trailers and such, you saw that, okay, it's about this new boy. Early synopsis previews said that this young boy is the prodigy that inspires an older person to go out and fight again. And I thought it was going to be he inspires Jackie Chan, but it's not. It's some pizza guy. And I gotta say, my initial impressions coming out of the theater for this was kind of like, this is not good material, guys. Like, there's a good idea in here, but it's just so poorly executed. It's almost embarrassing. And it sucks because I'm a big Jackie Chan fan. Ming-Na Wen is also in this. You know, I'm a big fan of hers from like Mandalorian. She's the voice of Aki in Final Fantasy Spirits Within. Ralph Macchio is also good. How does it compare to Cobra Kai? Guys, I don't know why they just didn't make a continuation for Cobra Kai into a movie form. I don't know what this is. I don't know why this was made. Uh, at least it didn't trample over any of the legacy of what the Karate Kid movies had established or what Cobra Kai was trying to do. This is just kind of like a weird Elseworld thing that, well, it starts off cool. It starts off with something very logical to explain how Miyagi knew Han, how his mentor, his family line went to China to learn their martial art. And like all of that stuff was very, very well done. But then when we follow this kid that was with his dojo, with Jackie Chan's dojo, Mr. Han's dojo, it comes to New York. He has trouble fitting in for some reason. And well, I guess the reason is because we got to have a movie, James. There's some romance in there. He meets a young girl, and I guess that's kind of like the throwback to older Karate Kid movies where there's always like a love interest for the main character there. But man, he, they talk about this tournament. This tournament doesn't even come into play until like the last 20 minutes of the film because it's all about him trying to acclimate to New York. And the girl in this does a good job. The acting is not terrible. I just feel like people are going to attack this young kid who's the lead because his face is not all that expressive. And I don't know if it's because of directing or it's just because he doesn't have a whole lot of experience. It merits us going to look at his resume because he can do all of the martial arts stuff well, and you can tell that there's a lot of potential there. But for me, he's got 15 credits. Mean Girls, Bob's Burgers, American Born Chinese. It just, I don't know. I think it's not in him. It's in the director. I don't feel like the director had quite a handle on how to handle this material, and especially this story. This script needed some work. I've heard people say that Daniel's character was just thrown in there, and you didn't really even need him to be in this movie. And no, you don't need him in this movie because this is really more about him. And actually, if you had Jackie Chan play a higher, more significant role, then this would have had a better payoff. But it's just kind of like, okay, he's struggling. He's trying to help this boxer played by Joshua Jackson. And oh, there's a tournament. So Jackie Chan shows up and let's train you for this tournament that will, get your friend his money back, his boxing friend his money back, right? That's what they're selling here. It's like this doesn't really feel like a Karate Kid movie. You maybe because of Danny being in there, but it's rough, man. It's rough. There's aspects of it that I liked for sure. The tomato meter says 56% by critics. They're hiding the audience scores. And guys, the movie came out already. They're not publishing the audience scores. It's got 250 ratings for the audience. And this is Friday night, guys. They're not showing us the score. Why is that? Because it's probably going to be built the same. Mark Kermode liked it, though. I love the kung fu karate training and the fight scenes and the whole thing, and this is true of the series. It is played with an air of wholesomeness that's fairly irresistible. Well, I can't agree with that. I came out with a spring on my step and I cried. No. Vulture. I can't imagine anyone remembering Karate Kid Legends 4 decades from now or next week. Wait. Yeah, it's a rough ride. And even the bad guy in this, like the bad kid that challenges him, he's going to show up in the tournament. They're going to be the final match in the tournament, and it's so crammed in the last 10 minutes. Oh, the tournament started. Now he's defeated all these guys. You know that they have to show this montage of them fighting these guys so that they can fight in the final match. I just would have started with him fighting in the first match, because winning the tournament is irrelevant. You know that he's going to get the money in the end. It's about how well he's going to get past the main guy. And it sucks because I wanted to really like this movie. Let's go over to the score sheet and fill out some numbers here for Karate Kid Legends and see where we sit, because it's not good. Acting, directing, and story out of a possible 2 points each. Cinematography and score out of 1 point. Acting, guys, there's the young girl in this is good, and you can tell that the Wang he's trying. Actually, Joshua Jackson's pretty good in this, but Jackie Chan, oh God, all of his lines are read as if somebody cracked open a fortune cookie and said the fortune. It's like, you can't win until you feel a loss. Oh, why do we lose? So we can learn to pick ourselves back up. Those are his lines. Jackie Chan. There's no emotional heart to it, man. It's flat. And Daniel Russo, I don't know why. He's in this film. Because they want to have him tie in, and that's it. Like he doesn't serve a purpose in here, and it sucks. I'm glad that it doesn't trample over what Cobra Kai did either. There is a nice nod to Cobra Kai stuff at the end, but I just don't know why they didn't move ahead with a Cobra Kai full-on movie and still have a way to bring, like, the way that they could have done this is have one of the Cobra Kai kids be the main character. That's it. That's it. Anyway, yeah, it's weird. Directing it's god awful. It's atrocious. It reeks of amateur hour, not only in the execution of the pacing, of the composition of the story. It's actually, you know what? I want to even give the story. I'm giving the story a 0.5. It's formulaic. And there is some stuff in here about his lost brother that really worked, that could have worked. That's the backbone, and the director just couldn't pull that performance out of this guy, and the movie suffered because of it. Cinematography, the fight choreography is, for the most part, decent, so I think I will give a full point for that. So that's 4 out of 10. The score, barely noticeable. So 4 out of 10 right now, 56% on the tomato meter, guys. As I said, it's rough. It really is. What's the consensus? No consensus reviews yet. Yeah, Sadie Stanley is the daughter in there, and she did a good job. She did. She actually, I think she's the highlight of this film for me. She really is. Let's go over to the YouTube live comments, because I am filming this live and I want to see what people are saying about this. Okay. So, Our Viking says, just to scratch an itch, I'm going to watch this on Sunday. It seems that they're hyping up the press and marketing to get it over the line. I'm just paying for the martial arts movies. Well, the martial arts part of this are okay. Chris Schober says, I saw the new Karate Kid movie. It was pretty good, but I have changed some things in the movie. I saw the live action Lilo and Stitch. Is pretty funny. Family movie. It's pretty good. I enjoyed it. I hope they make a sequel. Our Glass Viking says Ben Wang is the new walking horror movie. Oh, okay. Cool. Well, that's cool. So we'll see how he fares outside his martial arts skills. And I hope that director for The Long Walk does a better job of pulling out the performance than this guy. Arglass says people misremember a lot of Karate Kid movies, like Karate Kid 3 wasn't great, nor was the next Karate Kid. No, yeah. Actually, I like Karate Kid 3 mostly because of the Lively. What's her name? She's one of the Lively sisters. She was awesome in that. Chris Schober, have you ever done a watch along for season 3 of Seasons of Hannibal? No, I don't think I will. I know Mads Mikkelsen is awesome, but for me, yeah, no. Anthony Hopkins is my Hannibal. Possibly a generic script with the adults shoehorned in to tie in the legacy massive cash grab. And yeah, it was. And what sucks here is that there's a good premise. There's a good premise here that, okay, just have Han suffer the loss of one of his students, go to New York to try to hide broken away, or have him get rid of the New York stuff and just have him go to LA, right? Have him try to seek consolement with Daniel, and then have one of his younger students come, and maybe one of the karate Cobra Kai kids comes in and helps him remember his passion and why he got into it all. Because there's that narrative in there as to, like, everything's kung fu, right? Your life is like that. Have something like that, because I'll tell you this too. Jackie Chan can act. We know that he can act and bring in heart and emotional stuff, but instead he's just reading these cookie cutter things where it's just like lines of inspiration that just show up. It doesn't feel like you're reading. It doesn't feel like you're with a real character. He's just, yeah, it sucks. It sucks. Anyway, yeah, 56% by critics. My final score, I'm going to wrap this up because I got to get over to the Perry Nemiroff stream if she's live already. Watchability factor. If you're curious about it, guys, if you are curious about how this will interface, if it does, with Cobra Kai stuff, if you like the other Karate Kids, then you're wanting to check it out, but don't expect much more beyond that. 5 out of 10 is where I'm going to land for Karate Kid Legends, and that is a generous 5 out of 10 for Karate Kid Legends. Possibly generic script, yeah. Generic script indeed. Indeed. And there was just some, I blame the director. That's all. All right, guys, let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, and we will talk about it. If you like this kind of stuff, we also have reviewed the movie Lilo and Stitch live action. And on top of that, we've got trailer reactions for Jurassic World Rebirth, It, Welcome to Derry, Fubar series reaction, and then Superman trailer. Movie reviews for Final Destination Bloodlines, Fight or Flight, Clown in a Cornfield, and the other movie opening up this week is Bring Her Back. That's also very good. Tenants in Flight. I got to update a lot of these thumbnails. Hey, it is what it is. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Do you agree? And if not, hey, let's talk about it right here on Mirror Domains.